Hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk a little bit about an allowance for Filipina or her family, and maybe even an allowance before you've even met, and everything else kind of associated with the topic. Stick around. Another beautiful day in the Philippines, hanging out poolside, and it has been really hot. So when the pool is still kind of in the sun, direct sun, I don't really get into the pool. Once it starts to cool down a bit, because actually it's like a bathtub, it's like bath water. But once it starts to cool down around 4 o'clock and half the pool's in shade, that's when I jump in. But anyway, I've talked about this topic before, but I wanted to talk about it a little more in depth with more years of living in the Philippines now, a little more experience on the matter. And I'm not here to tell anybody whether you should do it, whether you shouldn't do it, how much you should send, or should you send, or shouldn't at all. I guess the first thing I want to talk about is, should you pay an allowance before you've even met the Filipina? And a lot of guys do this. Again, I'm not going to give advice on whether you should or shouldn't. If you feel good about it and you've got the money to spend, it's up to you whether you want to send somebody money or not. Personally, if I haven't met in person, I wouldn't do it. But that's just me. Again, I'm not going to tell somebody whether they should or shouldn't send money. But me personally, I would only send money maybe so that would help get to know each other, that would help assist in that matter. For example, so she's got data for her phone so you guys can video chat and stuff. And not an endless amount, as long as you're on the way out there and you're going to be there in 3 months, 6 months, something like that. A lot of guys will pay an allowance to their Filipina girlfriend when they're living out here. And I think a lot of guys just want their girlfriend, fiance, wife, whatever, to be available all the time, to go out to the coffee shop in the morning, to go and travel on the weekend, or to go and do this or go and do that. And so a lot of times they're asking their Filipina to give up work or give up selling clothes online or whatever. They ask them to give that up. So that is why they end up doing an allowance. Now, for me, I have my own rules on it, on whether I should give an allowance or not. Is she working? Is she trying to make money? Does she want to quit her job? If she really doesn't want to quit her job, then I don't think me forcing her to quit her job. Also, are you sure that this is a long-term relationship? To ask a girl that you're just dating to quit her job and then 4 months down the line break up with her? That's not exactly fair either. And I also think it's almost better to have the mentality that you teach her how to make money. Maybe better. Because a lot of times in the Philippines, I don't want to say this in any kind of an insulting way, but some of them just aren't that business oriented. They open up a Sari store directly across the street from 3 other Sari stores. So they don't really grasp the marketing strategy to sell things differently from their competitors, to lower the prices, to advertise, better signage, things like that. So helping her work maybe more efficiently, working less, and increasing the income is also a great thing to do for your Filipina. I have noticed that a lot of Filipinas here will actually start to have a guilt complex from their friends and their family, or mostly their family. Maybe you have elevated your girl all the way up here, but meanwhile her family and her close friends are still down at this level, and she's living up here now. And I've experienced where tears have been shed, where she's eating like shrimp and a really good meal, and then you're chilling out in your aircon and watching Netflix, and she's thinking to herself, my God, my poor family, they don't even have electricity, and they're all sleeping in one bed, or they're eating rice and spam, or you know, and they actually feel really bad. And I think this is another way that guys end up paying allowances to the family even. And again, I'm not here to tell you whether you should pay the family an allowance or not. There's a lot of variables, right? I mean, is it just the mom and dad? Are there no other siblings that can contribute? Are mom and dad unable to really work anymore? Or is their health deteriorating? Or are they a young couple, married couple still, 40s, 50s, still very capable of working, and there's a lot of other siblings who don't contribute anymore? So these can also be issues. You know, if you have all these other siblings that can contribute, but just stop because all of a sudden, you know, your girl has married a foreigner, or she's has a foreigner boyfriend, and all of a sudden mom and dad have stopped working. They don't need to work anymore. They just got the lucky golden ticket. Now all of a sudden you're going to step in and send them $20K, $25K, $30K, $40K, $10K a month, more than the salary of a lot of Filipinos on a monthly basis. So you have to decide. You have to decide, am I going to give them an allowance? Are they deserving of it? You know, if they have 9 siblings and nobody else is contributing, then I have a direct issue with that. Now, again, I leave it up to everybody else to make their own decision on whether they would want to do it or not. 2 other things I wanted to mention here. One is you might start to get messages, even secretively, from family members of your girlfriend, fiance, wife, and she may not even know about it. They may be asking for money. I've had it happen to me, like a second cousin or a cousin saying, hey, I don't have any food for the baby. Do you mind not telling her? Or I even had one where I had only dated a girl for like 2 weeks, and her cousin, like 2 months later, I think, had reached out and messaged, hey, I'm so-and-so's cousin. We don't have any food for the baby. Can you lend me some money? I'm like, whose cousin? And she's like, you know, so-and-so. I'm like, oh, we haven't been together for 2 months. And she goes, I know, but, you know, so you can get that. Now, this leads me to something else that I wanted to mention, that a lot of times when you enter into a relationship or start dating a Filipina, and they don't want to be totally public on social media about your relationship. And a lot of people wonder, is this a red flag? Are they not proud of me? Are they embarrassed maybe because of our age gap? But a lot of times it might just be because she isn't, or because she doesn't want to be judged by her relatives, or she doesn't want her relatives all of a sudden reaching out to you. And not only that, not only you, but the Filipina gets it a lot too. And that's how I'm going to end this video. But the Filipina will get bugged a lot from other, from family members and friends. They find out that she is dating a foreigner or married to a foreigner. And guess what? The floodgates open. Here come all the requests. You know, it's almost like expected. Well, hey, you're living this great life now. Look at your pictures on social media. You guys are over here, you're going there, you're going here. And, you know, they don't want that. They know it's going to happen, and they want to avoid that. So don't always think that it's a red flag. It may not be. It may be that it's just an issue of she doesn't want the floodgates to be open and be judged, maybe for an age gap, or she doesn't want a bunch of people asking for money and asking for loans. And you know, it can really be hard for them as well. I'm going to end this video just putting those facts out there. I'm not going to tell somebody whether they should give an allowance or not give an allowance. There's so many different variables. I can only speak from my own experience in my own situation. I haven't needed to. I haven't, and I've never wanted to give money while I was still living in the U.S., other than maybe load, so you can get to know each other through video calls and things like that. But let me know what you guys have experienced. Have you guys experienced any of these things that I've mentioned? And let me know down in the comments. me know down in the comments. And guys, if you haven't checked out my website, check out my geointhephilippines.com. You can check out my Geo Essentials list, where you can get all the products that I personally use, recommend for traveling or living here in the Philippines. And if you need a consultation about moving or traveling out to the Philippines, on where to go, what to see, where to stay, and all those things, sign up through a consultation by clicking the book a consultation. And also check out all my articles about various topics: visas, where to stay, where to live, reviews on different cities, all kinds of different topics. And if you want to support my channel, check out my Patreon at patreon.com/geointhephilippines, or select my YouTube membership by clicking the join button under any of my videos to have access to all kinds of benefits and other videos that you don't have access to on my regular YouTube channel. See you guys next time. Bye.